Yes, that's a record. Cool. Okay, so DevSync. Last time we met was a month ago. What did I do? I worked on the flow.txt documentation script for HiveMind so that we can better track the mocks. I spent a bunch of time working on unit testing HiveMind for my issues. I mean, my features. I have a bunch of weird things where when I dump the thing locally up to 5 million blocks, I don't get exactly the same result as the test results, which is strange. So I'm working also on that. Did a few back and forth with one of your dev, Dan, about RC delegation testing. He found a bug with lists RC delegations, which I fixed. I pulled up.
Is this Radislav?
Yes, I think his icon is
Okay.
green. Yeah. Yeah. So I know. So yeah, that has been fixed. I pulled up a merge request yesterday. And finally, in other news, I am starting to look for a second dev to help me out so that we can build out a team.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I'm following your track. Soon we'll be like 10,000 in there. Hopefully. Yeah, no, but yeah, I figured that to give more insight, basically HiveMind can be done, most of the testing can be done by someone else. And so that way I can focus on building features and offload some of the work and also work on Hive more. And I mean, it's gonna be, I'm gonna have a trial period by the end of the month. So I'll try that out. So I have a bunch of calls about that. And I wrote some.
So are you looking for like a Python guy or
Python guy?
what kind of program?
Python is more
okay.
PLSQL than Python, really. But yeah,
that's what I was asking, because it's like a kind of a combination, right? It's Python,
yeah,
and
exactly.
it's PSQL.
But yeah, the idea is mostly to write. I mean, at first it's going to be writing a lot of testing because that's the best way to onboard on the project and test stuff.
Yeah, the tests are all primarily Python based, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so that, and maybe we'll find some stuff. So that's going to be worked. So I'm basically writing a bunch of documentation, like dev documentation on how to get started. Maybe I'll pull up a contributing.md thing in the repo. And I'm writing like some tasks here and there. I don't know if I'm going to use GitLab to centralize development or not, or if I'm going to use like a private Jira. Yeah, it's work in progress. But yeah, that's
okay.
What I'm being up to, basically.
Okay, sounds good. I guess well, we've got a lot of stuff going, but just cover some of the main things of interest of late. We're still working on some of the Dockerizing the half applications. So that's going pretty well. We started testing some of those. One of the more interesting things we did recently was we've added compression to the block log. So I got to get the final numbers right now, but I think we're about compressing the block log to about 50% of its, I guess, uncompressed size right now. And another thing we're looking at is possibly keeping the compressed across the peer-to-peer network too, which would effectively cut the peer-to-peer network traffic in half. I mean, that's not really a pressing problem at the moment, but still, why not if we can? And it'll also save compression time. That way, basically, the node that initially produces a block will compress it, and then it can just be compressed among all the nodes, so they don't have to recompress it themselves that way. So there is, I guess, also some performance improvements on each node from that. What else? I guess we've been working on the peer-to-peer network in terms of efficiency, both latency and in terms of bandwidth. And so at this point, I mentioned this in my post yesterday, but we've actually got, we're running on the mirror net, so we basically got the same amount of traffic that's running on the main net, except that our block time offsets are now all showing as negative across the board from all the witnesses. So that'll give you an idea of how much we've reduced the latency. And just in case anybody's wondering how you get a negative block time offset, it's because a node starts actually producing a block 400 milliseconds before it has to for its official block time. So that just a negative offset time just means that blocks are getting received by produced blocks are getting received by their peers, by their peer node, by all the other nodes within 400 milliseconds. So right now, I think we're running on that network. We're running around a -80 negative offset time. So it's taking about 300 milliseconds for blocks to be fully processed between nodes right now. We're going to see if we can cut that down further. Theoretically, I think we might be able to get it down to as low as 100, 100 milliseconds, but we'll see. What else? Let's see. I guess, oh, here's another one that's kind of important. We've managed to get the new half-based Hive mind passing continuous integration tests now, which is great news, I think. So next, we're going to be qualifying and benchmarking with a full replay to the head block. And if that passes, then we'll, I suppose, shortly thereafter, we'll merge that into develop. That's probably some of the bigger highlights, I guess, of what's going on right now. They're continuing to do all the normal things too.
Cool. Regarding the compression, it's only for downloading, right? Because not live.
No, that's what I'm saying right now. So right now, right now the compression is done when you receive a block, you compress it, and it gets stored to the block log. So the compression right now just happens during the storage to the block log. But the next step that this shouldn't be difficult to do is to actually exchange them in compressed form. So say your node, you're a block producer and you produce a block, you can compress it and then transmit that compressed block across the network. Each node can then uncompress it to process it, but they can keep around your compressed copy too, so they don't have to recompress it. And then they can store off the compressed one.
Okay, cool.
So that would basically cut not only that would cut us down not only from the storage that we store in the block log itself, but actually reduce the actual traffic across the network too. So a lot of the work of the past couple of days, we actually got compression going a little while back. But a lot of the work lately has been optimizing the compression more. So we've been generating dictionaries to allow for better compression of the blocks. And essentially we created, right now for optimal compression, we're generating a new dictionary every 1 million blocks. So we've basically, so, you know, now we're talking about 60-some million, 60 dictionaries, one for each 1 million blocks. And it swaps between the dictionaries for maximum compression in each of those block intervals.
Okay, I see. Neat. Okay. Okay, I guess in terms of, I don't have that many topics today. Yeah, I was reviewing I cleared up a bunch of the old issues in, the old issues that I created in the issue channel. I see, Gonzalo, that you wrote a lot of CLA wallet issues. Are you gonna tackle them, or is it just for tracking purpose and they're open for everyone?
He said he's going to be typing today. So, I guess you saw that already.
Did I? No. Where did you
maybe
write
you didn't. I'm just saying he's probably going to reply in the chat channel because he can't dial in, so he doesn't have voice today.
Yes, right. Cool. Okay, I'll wait for the reply. Yeah, so during testing, we noticed that there was a bunch of CLA work in progress, but it seemed working on that easily. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So yeah, as he was testing, as your dev was testing the RC API, I noticed that it was kind of confusing because we use a lot of, basically everything is account ID based, but we search using account name based. And so that's, basically that created confusion even in your dev, because he was like, oh, I query like from Alice to Alice and I get it, but then I query from Alice to AA and I don't see it. But because AA has an ID superior to Alice, then he doesn't see things because internally we convert everything to numbers. I'm thinking of making some improvement to that API because I'm pretty sure a lot of devs will get confused by it. Is it too late to change in regards to the testnets, or should that go into like a later thing?
So you're talking about changing which API now? You're talking about the delegated RC API?
Yes, delegated RC API. I kind of like to either query using IDs instead of names, or query or like return the IDs when we do the queries. That way it's more
okay,
obvious
I see what
in
you're
terms
saying.
of
But we don't have any other APIs that do that right now, right? They are all using names.
I don't think so, because all of the old APIs are still using accounts for their internal objects, whereas this is using an index based on accounts IDs.
I see.
We kind of
I don't
have to do it
know.
for
I guess
documentation.
maybe throw out let's create an issue on it, and we'll bring it up for discussion with everybody else involved, because obviously whoever's testing it and all that should be involved too.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and then basically yeah, also I guess I will have to include the my fix into the testnet. Speaking of which, so what's the status on the testnet? We have the mirror net that's running. How long are we planning on having that running?
I think right up until the hard fork, we'll be.
Okay.
I mean, we'll probably start a new one. I don't imagine before too long we'll create a new version of MirrorNet. Maybe next week.
Okay, I see. Well, okay, then by next week, if you guys are adding a version, I can probably fit in some of the fix for the bug for next week. Let me pass this up, and then I can test. I'm probably gonna try to run I will run a node on it on the next version.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, that's pretty much all about it. Nothing came up in testing so far, right? Apart from the June list RC.
Oh, you mean as far as you mean testing of delegations, or
testing on the
MirrorNet?
Yeah, the MirrorNet.
Oh yeah, a bunch of stuff has come up on the MirrorNet, but I mean, not like bugs, but like performance bottlenecks. We found several performance bottlenecks with the MirrorNet. So mostly they're all fixed now, though. In fact, we did the one that I thought was going to be hard. It turned out to be relatively easy. So we had an issue where a node would only grab one transaction at a time from a peer, and I was thinking we were going to have to code all that up, but it turns out that it's hard to remember what you did 8 years ago. and 8 years ago, when we wrote that code, we actually we had a feature that allowed a node to fetch more than one item at a time. It was just never enabled because it wasn't needed. So that was nice. Saved us a bunch of time there.
Okay, cool. And yeah, that's about all I had for today. Do you guys have anything else?
I guess Gandalf answered your question, but I guess you saw that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's good. I was wondering, so that's been done. Yeah, okay. I'll probably work on some more on HiveMind after the fork. I mean, on Hive itself. I need to think with the community on some of the features namely the burning mechanisms that was brought up a while ago. We're getting instant withdrawal. I'm just afraid of the effects on RC and other components. But yeah, that's the discussion for another time, maybe.
I don't know if Imatsi wanted to say anything about his work he's working on right now.
Yeah. Hi guys. I've been mainly focusing on GNS lately. I'm not sure if you've looked up at some of the documents I shared, but basically the idea is to have a notification system that's tailored towards making it more, customizable for the user. And so the idea is to have notifications, and then users get to subscribe to different types of notifications. And so the system is, well, open source, yes, but it's modular in that you can have any new dApp that comes up on Hive can come up with their own notifications and then define them within certain files in the system. And then those notifications become available. I'll share a README file that I updated today just to give you guys an idea on where it's at right now. As far as plug and play is concerned, I'm working on making it more customizable, because right now the plugs aren't really fully independent of each other. And so I was looking at like Podpin's use case right now. If they wanted to just run pod ping APIs on there. We need to make it a bit more simpler to do that. And yeah, I'm also just preparing it for when we get that feature to filter
Oh, I was
operation.
actually gonna tell you that that feature is actually in now. It's you can filter now.
Oh, awesome. Which branch?
In
is
the
it now?
development branch. In the development branch.
Oh, perfect.
Which I guess is
perfect.
effectively the branch right now. Since there's no master to speak of yet.
Cool. Is there like documentation on how I can configure the filters?
I think there is, yeah. Effectively, there's two kind of filters you can use. One, you can filter based on account name, that works just the exact same way as it does for account history. So it's the exact same syntax, in fact. And then the format for the regex based one, which is basically how you can filter for operations. It's fairly straightforward. You basically put additional statements. Well, both of them, you put additional statements into config.ini file of your the node that's got the SQL serializer plugin enabled, and then it'll just start filtering those when it sends them to the database.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that'll probably be my focus going forward, just to make plug and play align with that customizability. So yeah, that's cool. Oh, just a brief update on other stuff that I've been working on that's off chain. So I moved to Mauritius, and I was just looking around and trying to see if there are any people interested in crypto and blockchain this side. And there's quite a number of developers who are interested. And I got in touch with someone who can help me organize regular meetups. So I've got this Hive Mauritius meetup thing going on, but I think we'll have our first one in like 2 weeks. We've got a venue, but I'm still trying to get the logistics done. But I'll update you guys when we move forward with that. And yeah,
Sounds
that's
great.
it from me.
Okay, thanks. Anyone else have anything?
Okay. Well, sounds like that's it for this meeting. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you.